Yeah, so regarding the rear gear, you know, this is this specific model year and one state only, 1 year only, the 1980 California W116 300 SD. It is the perfect combination. You get the 617 bulletproof engine, you get that California rear gear. It's the only 617 car that you can do 100 miles an hour in at 3,400 RPMs. This is the best diesel Mercedes ever made, without a question. What's up, you guys? I'm just headed through the Atlanta airport. There is a 1980 W116 down in Florida that I just purchased. And what's interesting is I sold this car to these folks like 2.5 years ago and kept it in a climate controlled storage facility, and I saw it pop up for sale. You know, they were going to make a little money on the car, selling it a few years later. And I was like, oh my God, I know that car. That's my car. And I've completely gone through the car. I know it like the back of my hand. So I immediately jumped on it and bought it. And now I am flying down to Tampa, Florida to pick it up and drive it back. But this is a 1980 W116 with, I think it has 57,000 miles on it. 58,000 miles on it. It's an incredible car. Anyway, you guys will meet the owners and see it soon. Guys, here we are at Steve's place to get the SD, but really cool backyard. This this channel here goes out to the Gulf. So you can just drop in, got a couple of Sea-Doos down here, and shoot off that way, and you're in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, all right, guys, here it is. Back together again. It's been 2.5 years since I've seen this car, and it is so beautiful. Show you guys around this thing. Now, Steve also has the bunts over here, and I'll of course go back to the original bunts. So here these are, and there's a spare in there too. But that's actually how I received the car 2.5 years ago with the original owner that was a Delta pilot in Peachtree City. Here's the original radio, the Becker radio.
John, here's your, I don't know if you want to put these up front or where you want these.
Oh, you can leave them back there, that's fine. Oh, nice, the hubcaps.
And 4 covers.
I remember that smell. It's funny how each of them smell a little different. There she is. Just how I remember it. Steve, would you mind telling us a little bit about the car?
Well, you know more about the car than I do. I bought the car because my dad had a sunrise yellow, I think is the color. It's brighter yellow than this 300 SD, and my brother and I have been chasing that color car, and this one popped up, and it's manila beige, but more yellow than beige, and we've enjoyed it. Haven't done too much with it. Drove it a couple of thousand miles, cleaned up a few little things, got the bunts and that sort of stuff, but it's basically as John sold it to us a couple of years ago.
It's great. So you put a couple of thousand on it. I only put a couple of thousand on it.
Yeah.
Where does it sit now?
I don't even think we put a couple of thousand on it. It's at 57.5.
Oops, sorry, 57,000 miles. So I'm gonna drive it back to Atlanta. And oh, let's pop the hood. Look under the hood. Show these guys. Oh, it looks like you detailed the wheel wells too.
We detailed wheel wells, detailed the engine.
Nice. Man, that's exactly how I remember. I remember this thing. They had put on, I guess that's so you can
fill it there.
Fill it right there instead of over at the Very beautiful. Such good condition. Well, thank you for taking such good care of it.
Well,
and
thank you for letting us adopt it for a while.
Guys, I'm gonna hop in this thing and we're gonna book it back to the shop in Atlanta. So, all right, guys, I just picked up the car and I just filled up at the gas station, and we have put our odometer to all zeros, and we're gonna get some miles per gallon test on this car because I got to drive from Tampa, Florida, back to Atlanta. And guys, this is one of the absolute nicest 300 SDs in the country. I know because I had this car 2.5 years ago and I did a lot of the work on it, and it's amazing condition. All new front suspension, the climate control servo, amplifier, solenoid kickdown for the transmission, rear axle boots. I mean, there was no corners cut on this car. This was right before I started Woods and Barclay. This was a car that I bought for myself, and man, I went through it, and it's absolutely fantastic. So when I saw it for sale, I immediately jumped on it, and here we are 2.5 years later, and I have the car back, and I'm so happy. Let me show you guys this engine compartment. Check out how clean this is. So look at that. All the cadmium plating is still here. Look how clean it is up here in the front of the car. See how clean that is? This thing is in such amazing condition. This is the nicest 300 SD 116 chassis I've ever seen. And like I said, it was going to be my car, and then you know, I started the shop and sold it. There's the climate control servo, that, and all the hoses. I mean, guys, I went through this thing. Everything is fresh on it, and I did not even bring any tools down here because I knew this would drive back no problem. I mean, I literally don't even have a screwdriver. Not scared at all to drive this from Atlanta back to Tampa. AC works great, and when I originally had this car, I remember I drove to Virginia. Me and my girlfriend drove to Virginia, and then we drove to the beach in Virginia. We took this on a beach trip, and gosh, I put 3,000 miles or so on it, and the car was great. And it really hurt when I sold this one. So anyway, I'm so happy to have it back, and we're gonna get on the road, and I'll do some miles per gallon test. And Ted and Steve, thank you guys so much for taking good care of this car. It's actually in a little better condition than when you guys got it from me, and I really appreciate that. Appreciate you guys selling it to me. It's a beautiful, beautiful car. So anyway, let's do some miles per gallon test. See you guys in a few minutes. All right, guys, I'm just cruising on the highway here, and I'm going to show you something that people don't know about this car. So this car is from out of California, and the reason you know that because the 1980 300 SD did not have an EGR on the intake. However, the California model did. You see that little EGR tube, and this car has that because this is out of California. Now the other thing is that the rear gear, there was a rear gear put in the 1980 out of California, and check this out. I bet you guys have never seen anything like this on one of these cars. So usually at 70 miles an hour, these cars are 3,200 RPMs. Well, check this out. This is the beautiful thing about this car. We're going 70 miles an hour. Look at the RPMs. 2,500. Might even be 2,400. Yeah, about 2,450. You see that? At 70. And so this has, I guess, a special California gearing for emissions, and this car is awesome on the interstate. Check this out. I'm on an open stretch in the middle of nowhere in Florida. I'm going to open this thing up. Check how our RPMs relate to the miles per hour. We haven't even hit 3,000 RPMs yet. Look at that. There we go. We're about I guess 80 miles an hour at 2,900 RPMs. There we go, 85 at right about 3,000. This thing is a road warrior, and it is so smooth. Man, I wish you guys could be here to feel what this car feels like. I'm so happy to have this car back. This might have to be my new daily driver. But this thing is a tank, man. It is, the 116 chassis is rock solid. It is, there's something that's just so different about it than the 126 or the 123. It feels, it's like a more driver's car. You feel the car more, you feel the road more. It almost feels like it's more balanced. It feels more stable. I don't know, you guys just have to experience it. If you haven't bought a 116 chassis car, a 300 SD, you got to own one at least once. Now, the problem is they're extremely difficult to find in good condition. I've got two of them at the shop now. This one I'm bringing back, and one I picked up yesterday that just popped out of nowhere, actually an hour away from me. And they're both, you know, low mileage cars that are basically mint condition. But man, this one is badass. It's the nicest 300 SD I've had. I never thought I would say this, because I drove the Heisenberg for 12 years. This car beats the Heisenberg. It is so badass. Anyway, we'll get to that miles per gallon fill up here in a little while. Regarding the rear gear, you know, this is this specific model year and one state only, 1 year only, the 1980 California W116 300 SD. It is the perfect combination. You get the 617 bulletproof engine, you get that California rear gear. It's the only 617 car that you can do 100 miles an hour in at 3,400 RPMs. Yeah, you saw the test. I was going 85 at 3,000 RPMs. And this is a 1 year only, one state produced only car. And this is the best diesel Mercedes ever made, without a question. All right, guys, I just pulled over for the first fill up here, and we can see we're at a little under a quarter a tank, and we went 158.7 miles. So let's go fill up and see what the miles per gallon is. All right, 5.56, we'll round it up to 5.57 gallons and do this math. All right, so 158.7 divided by 5.57 gallons, guys, that is 28.5 miles per gallon. And that is outstanding for this big old sedan. You know, the 300D videos, smaller car, I think the most I ever got was 31. So that's great. The my old daily driver 116 was like 25 miles per gallon. So that's what you get with the California model. Excellent condition, low mileage engine with that special California rear gear, 28 miles per gallon in this like 4,000 pound sedan. So now, anyway, keep in mind, guys, that is down here in Florida. We did some city driving out of Tampa. I did the test going up to 85 miles an hour. It's hot down here. I've got the AC running full blast. So that was a combination of city and highway, probably averaging about 75 or 80 on the highways. So I could easily get this to 30 to 31 miles per gallon if I backed it off, got on the highway and cruised at like 70 miles an hour at like 2,400 RPMs. We could easily hit 30 miles per gallon. So, anyway, I'm gonna get on back to the shop. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time.